So now we're going to hear from a few clients. Mr. Dale Green is going to interview our clients. Dale is a 28-year vet in journalism. He has a community radio show that airs every Sunday morning on Cox Family radio stations, about 6 in the morning, correct? And so Dale is going to kind of run this interview just as he would as if he was interviewing for his show. So Dale, take it away.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Spectrum here on this Cox Media Group station. We're delighted to welcome on this portion of our program 3 individuals who have been there, done that, and now have turned their lives around. We consider them success stories. We're going to start off with David Brown. David, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I was born and raised in Tampa, Florida. My dad died when I was 9 months old, so I was raised by a single mother. I survived by two siblings. One, my sister, Jane, she's still alive, and then also my oldest brother, Julius. My 3 other siblings, they passed away back in the 80s. I graduated from Tampa Bay Vocational Tech on Orient Road. I joined the U.S. Navy in 1983, and I'm proud to say that I love serving my country. And then also, I just want to say that, my goals and aspiration is to one day go back into the prisons that, and save the souls of the men and women that also are still in there.
David, what led to your troubles?
Well, I was shy when I was growing up. And I would say that I had a lot of insecurities, things that was going on in my life, and I turned to drugs.
Tell me about your time served.
Well, for many years when I was in the prison system, I was still living and doing the same things that I was doing on the streets. And it was about 3 years ago, I finally, I just said, Lord, I'm tired of this. There was no purpose in my life. It's just there was no meaning, and I was miserable.
How did you and A. Brown Ministries come together? How did they help you?
You're talking about a divine God that interposed itself in my life and used probably ministries of several to reach out to A. Brown Ministries, and A. Brown Ministries was also very gracious and accepted me. You're talking about 15 inmates or 15 people that they can house, and to be one of them is special.
So you were in some transitional housing, and that helped you?
Without a doubt, not only did they provide food, clothing, and shelter, but they really truly care about the souls of men and women. So.
You have a pretty good gift of gab, and that led to your job in sales. Tell me how that's going.
Well, under the umbrella of A. Brown Ministries is a Ready for Work program, which y'all have heard a lot about tonight. And I want to say this, I want to give a shout out there to Mac Brown and Todd they work tireless hours to get a job done that they don't really get a lot of recognition and praise for. And all those at A. Brown Ministries, they just break their neck to do a lot for people because they really care about the men and women that come there. But as far as the job, what it was is there was my boss is here tonight, Tom. He come in there and he was doing a presentation at Ready to Work program, and he said, I like that guy right there. That's what I need right there. That's the guy I want. Well, at the time, there was some Christian people in my life said, don't take that job. Don't take it. It's a high-risk job. And Todd Cross, he goes, what do you mean? You don't have no history at all. You've been in prison forever. So what does it really matter? You know what I'm saying? He goes, you need a job. And he goes, I feel God is leading you in this area. So that's what I did. I went ahead and took it, and I believe that right now things are going well there. You would have to ask my boss about there. Tom, he's sitting at table 20 over there.
Okay. That's a deluxe shout out. Listen, what would you say in about a minute, what would you say to those who say, well, I don't need to give to A. Brown Ministries. They help ex-felons. What would you say to people who have that attitude?
I don't really think it's about giving to an inmate. It's really truly God's money, and we're just stewards of it. And it's about giving to the people that God has chosen to be good stewards over it. For inmates like me, ex-inmates that's come out, it's a fact that we're going to have to prove ourselves, and once we're faithful in little things, then God is going to give the increase in more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mark Moore grew up, his roots go back to New York. by way of Daytona and finally in Tampa. Tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of transitioning from up north to Daytona and then over to Tampa. What led to your troubles? What was life like for you?
Well, the transition from New York to Daytona Beach was something I didn't really have much to do with. I was an infant. My mother came back down, came to Florida because she had family here. In Daytona, my mother met a guy. They got married. She was trying to find security for me and my brother, and there was some abuse issues and some insecurity issues as a result of that. And as a result of that, I kind of ventured over to Tampa, just trying to look for a change, something different, and that's where I got my roots with my drug addiction.
Okay. And I wanted to find out, how did your son save your life in terms of your career?
In terms of my career, it was intriguing because I have a son that actually has a degree in graphic arts and computers, and the job that I had required me to have some experience with computers, and so he took me over and we went to Barnes and Nobles and we spent some time at McDonald's on the computer, and he brought me up to speed.
Getting that free Wi-Fi, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What would you say to those people who would say, well, A. Brown Ministries, don't they help ex-felons? I don't need to contribute to them. What would you say to that?
Well, I know because of the society we live in, we see a lot of negativity on the news because negativity sells, but you don't see a lot of success stories. But I'm here to tell you that what I gained from the A. Brown experience is priceless. It gave me an opportunity to reconnect with my family. It gave me a safety net, and a support cast and accountability that I really needed coming out of the situation that I was in, transitioning here. So not only did I have the support of my family, but the support of A. Brown, and the monies that you contribute to that support is priceless.
Are you proud of where you have come from?
I'm definitely proud.
Okay. We'll turn our attention now to, this last name is a tongue twister, Tanya Castellano. Miss Tanya, pronounce your last name for me.
Castagliola.
Yes, that's why I asked you to do that. I wanted to find out about, tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of getting involved with A. Brown Ministry. What was life like for you before?
Before A. Brown, I was living in Plant City. I was born and raised in Plant City. I was on probation. I went to like 40 different jobs, applications, and I could not get hired, not even a phone call back. I went to probation on a Monday morning. Pastor Wayne and
Some others.
Pastor Clyde was there, and I filled out the application. They told me that I would receive something, a phone call from them if I qualified within a few days. I didn't hear from them by that time span. I thought, okay, God, that's not a door you want open. A couple of days later, I heard from them in Plant City, and them being in Tampa. I had got up early in the morning, so I'd do my daily devotions first. I had to walk 45 minutes to the bus. I had an hour and a half layover in the evening and a 45-minute walk back home. I did this for about 3 weeks. I was very determined.
Now you work at the port.
I do work at the port.
So you moved closer in. How is that transition? How is that journey?
I talked to Pastor Wayne. They put me in a transitional house. So then I was within a mile and a half from A. Brown. I finished the 4 weeks program, and I started working at the port.
But you have a TWIC card. You got some clearance. How did you do that? What's an ex-felon doing with clearance?
Because they're ready for work.
What would you say to those individuals who say, well, I don't know, that organization deals with ex-felons. I don't know if I want to contribute to them. What would you say to those people like that?
A. Brown Ministries, Ready for Work, has turned my life around. First of all, God did. Second of all, it was through A. Brown Ministries, Ready for Work.
Do you consider yourself a success story?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I was a mother at 14, abusive husband. I went back to school. I got my CNA license. I got a felony on my record. I lost everything. I know it was my fault. I let Satan in. And for me to be able to go to the port to work, right now in the transitional house, I get up early in the mornings, I do my daily devotions. I leave the house at 5 o'clock. I get on the bus at 5:14. I ride to Labor Ready. That's how I'm going through the port, through Labor Ready. It's 7 blocks that when I get off the bus that I have to walk to Labor Ready. And then I have to wait for a ride to get there to the port.
Somebody would call that determination.
I am very determined.
Right.
I will not let Satan have another day of my life. Also, I know it's getting late and everyone's tired. Believe me, I've been up since 3:45 this morning. I have a son that is serving another term in prison. He's 28. This is his 3rd time. I hope and pray that you guys out there will help Abraham Ministries and Ready for Work, because when my son gets out, he's going to need something to help him to get his life straightened back out. Because it is very hard when you have a felony on your record to find a job. I tried 40 applications, not a phone call back.
We thank you for joining us on this edition of Spectrum. As we close out our show, we always ask people to please consider committing a random act of kindness. Now back to you, Robert.
Let's give them a big round of applause.
Yeah, that's good.